Sometimes heroes don't wear capes. Sometimes they have fur, a wagging tail, and a heart that beats only for the ones they love. This is the true story of a dog named Max, and how he did something no human could have done. He saved a little boy's life, even if it meant risking his own. The family lived in a quiet suburban neighborhood. A father, a mother, and their 2 children. Ethan, a 6-year-old boy with bright eyes and an endless curiosity about the world, and Karen, who is 8 years old. They had adopted Max, a golden retriever, 2 years earlier from a rescue shelter. At first, Max had been quiet, almost too quiet. He rarely barked, never caused trouble. He simply followed Ethan everywhere, as if protecting him was his life's purpose. Every morning, Ethan would wake up and shout, "Come on, Max, let's go explore!" And the 2 would run into the backyard, playing until the sun began to set. Neighbors often smiled, saying, "That boy and his dog, they're inseparable." No one could have guessed how deep that bond truly went, until one summer afternoon. It started like any normal day. Ethan's mom was inside, folding laundry. His dad was fixing something in the garage. Ethan and Max were playing near the edge of the property, just beyond the fence. There was a stretch of woods. It was peaceful. But there was something different that day. Ethan giggled. "What is it, boy? Squirrels again?" But Max didn't move. His body stiffened. His fur rose slightly. Animals sense danger long before humans do. And Max knew something wasn't right. In the shadows of the trees, something moved. Slowly, silently. At first, it looked like just another shape in the forest, until Max realized what it was. It was a man, disoriented, staggering, but holding something in his hand. A man who had been seen wandering the neighborhood earlier that week, shouting at invisible things, breaking bottles, and frightening children. He wasn't supposed to be there. Ethan, still too young to understand, took a few steps forward, curious. But Max growled, loud, deep, the kind of growl that said, "Don't move." Ethan froze. Then suddenly, the man stumbled closer, muttering something about the voices and the boy. He reached out. Ethan screamed. Max lunged. Max didn't hesitate for a single heartbeat. He launched himself between the stranger and the child. The man shouted and tried to push Max away. But Max bit down hard on the man's sleeve, dragging him backward with all the strength in his body. Ethan's mother heard the commotion and ran outside. When she saw what was happening, she froze. Her heart stopped. "Ethan!" she screamed. "Get inside!" But Ethan couldn't move. The man kicked Max once, twice, but the dog refused to let go. He growled, fought, clawed, doing everything he could to protect his little human. By the time Ethan's father rushed in from the garage, Max had forced the man back toward the woods. The father grabbed a shovel, yelling, "Get away from my son!" The man stumbled, fell, and ran. And then there was silence. Max limped back toward the house. His fur was dirty and there was blood on his paw, not his own. Ethan ran to him crying, "You saved me, Max! You saved me!" The parents were shaken but overwhelmed with gratitude. They called the police. The man was later found and taken for psychiatric evaluation. That night, as the family sat together, Max lay at Ethan's feet. He was tired, but he wagged his tail softly every time Ethan spoke. The mother whispered, "If Max hadn't been there..." The father nodded, unable to finish the sentence. They both knew the truth. Max wasn't just a pet. He was a guardian. Over the next few days, Max rested quietly. Ethan refused to leave his side, even sleeping on the floor beside him. Local news outlets soon heard the story. They called Max a hero. A reporter visited, taking photos of the brave dog and the little boy he saved. The story went viral online. Comments poured in from all over the world. "We don't deserve dogs." This made me cry. What a beautiful soul. But for Ethan, it wasn't about fame. It was about love. Every morning he would hug Max and whisper, You're my best friend forever." And Max would close his eyes, content. In a world where people often forget the simple meaning of loyalty, Max reminded everyone what it looks like. He didn't act out of duty. He didn't wait for a command. He acted out of pure, unconditional love. That day, when danger came, it wasn't logic that made him jump between Ethan and harm. It was love. Scientists say dogs can sense emotions, fear, even threats. But sometimes it goes beyond science. Sometimes it's something deeper, spiritual. And maybe, just maybe, they're here to remind us what true love really is. Years later, Ethan grew older, but the story of that day never faded. Every time he looked at Max, he saw not just a dog, but his guardian angel. And every time Max looked at Ethan, his eyes seemed to say, "I'll always protect you." Max lived for many more happy years, always by Ethan's side. And when he finally passed on peacefully one summer morning, Ethan was no longer a boy. He was a man. But he still whispered through tears, "Thank you for saving me." And somewhere in that quiet house, the wind seemed to carry a single familiar sound, the faint wag of a tail. Because sometimes the bravest hearts don't speak, they bark.